Hi BookTube, it's Gina. Happy Tuesday. It's Tag Tuesday today. I am going to do a tag. One of the things I love most about BookTube is the common events that we do, the days of reading, Friday reads, Tag Tuesday, group reads, buddy reads. There's so much fun stuff going on here, and I just love being a part of it. I love Tag Tuesdays. I love getting tagged. I love watching other people's tag videos. Such a sense of camaraderie to me and just fun. Every time someone tags me, I am honored and excited that you thought of me and that you are talking about books and including me in the conversation. So if you've ever tagged me, thank you so much. I was tagged a couple days ago by Jessica at Jess Book Girl TV, who has been watching my channel and commenting, and who has her own channel, and who I've just so appreciated for the 2.5 years that I've had my channel. And this is the currently reading tag. Some of this looked familiar to me, but I thought, have I done this tag before? But if I've done it, I couldn't find anything in my videos, but maybe I did it and called it something different. But regardless of that, things change. There's new people here, so I thought it would still be fun to revisit or visit if this is the first time I've done it. Do you ever feel like that? Like, I know I've done something, my memory is terrible. So anyway, this is the currently reading tag, and it's got 10 prompts. And prompt number 1 is, how many books do you read at once? And for me, it's always different, but I do always have multiple books going. I almost never read one thing and just read it straight through. I always have at least 2 things going. Right now I have 3 things in solid rotation, and then a couple things that I've picked up that are sitting kind of on the back burner. I ordered some Kindle books from my library, and of course they always come in at the same time. So a couple of those are kind of sitting around waiting for me, and I've read a few pages of them, and I'm like, oh, I really want to get to that, but hopefully I can get to it before my it's not a hold, I've gotten it, my time expires. So I'm right now I'm reading 3 books at once, and I'll show you what I'm reading right now. This is actually a really good example of how I like to read. So the current book that I'm reading is Lessons in Chemistry. I've talked about this a few times, by Bonnie Garmus, and I am probably committing a bad book sin, but I'm using the dust jacket as my bookmark right now. As I get further on, I'll grab a bookmark, but I am reading this in this edition. A friend of mine loaned this to me, and if I'd tried to reserve it at the library, it would have taken years. It's very popular right now. So I am reading it in this edition. I'll talk more about this in a second. And then on my Kindle, I'm actually reading 2 things, but I pulled out these little paperback editions just to show you. I'm reading Less Than Angels by Barbara Pym. Loving this. I am just maybe 40 pages into this, so I just started it last night. I'm reading this on my Kindle though, and then I'm also reading Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Look at that cover. This is an old campus classic. This cost 60 cents back in the day. Look how cute that is. So both of these I am reading on my Kindle because, let's see, actually I'll wait for a second. I'm jumping around here a little bit. So I like to read different types of books at different times and places. So this book I'm reading during the day, on the weekends, in my big, comfy, cozy reading chair that is in my living room, or on my deck sitting outside, which I primarily do on the weekends. I've got a beautiful deck and I love to sit outside and read. So this book is my daytime sitting in the living room or on my deck reading. Then my Kindle books are, I always have one Kindle book that is cozy or easy reading. I say Barbara Pym is cozy with a bite. I love her because she's got a little bit of an edge to her. And I love her books a lot. But I love to read this on my Kindle at night. So this is my current cozy Kindle book. And then this one's also on my Kindle. So I'm swapping on my Kindle back and forth between these two. And this I am reading, with Sandy at Miss Reads a Lot's 1001 book club, books you must read before you die, a book club. And I'm loving this too. I am about, well, I don't have my Kindle, but I think I'm about a quarter of the way through Jane Eyre. So I will finish all of these, of course, before the end of the month. These are 3 I am committed to reading. I can't imagine I would DNF any of these, but I'm currently reading solidly 3 books. Prompt number 2 is, if you're reading more than one book at a time, how do you decide to switch to reading the other book? Do you read a certain amount of pages each? So I don't pick a certain number of pages, but as I mentioned, I read one during the day. Excuse me. I always have something set up to read at night, and then usually I will read, right now I'm really invested in this. I'll probably read this one tonight. I usually just sort of alternate each night reading something different, or I'll read one for an hour and then switch over to the other one. So it's more of a time frame thing. I'll probably read Jane Eyre first at night because this is a good one to kind of read just before I fall asleep. Prompt number 3 is, do you ever switch bookmarks while you're partway through a book? So usually I'm reading on my Kindle, so there's no bookmarks there. But yes, I mean, for this one, I just grabbed this off my desk because this is what I'm reading. I need to grab a bookmark for this one. So I will switch from using the dust jacket to using a bookmark at some point. Prompt number 4, where do you keep the book you're currently reading? So I have my Kindle by my bedside, and I have this book sitting either on my desk or next to my cozy reading chair. Prompt number 5, what time of day do you spend the most time reading? So I read mostly at night in bed. During the week, I don't have a lot of time to read during the week. I'm trying to keep this book on my desk and read during breaks and read during lunch, which is not something that I have done much of, but I'm trying to get better at that so that I can read a little bit more during the week. And then on the weekend, I will read a lot. I'll read big chunks of this on the weekend. So it sort of depends. Prompt number 6, how long do you typically read in one go? So I usually read for 2 hours at a time, a couple hours at night, or a little bit longer, depending. And then I'll read for a few hours each day on the weekend. Prompt number 7, do you read hardcovers with a dust jacket on or off? On. Oftentimes using it as a bookmark. Prompt number 8, which position do you mainly use to read? So I'm either in bed or I am sitting in my cozy reading chair. Prompt number 9 is, do you take the book you're currently reading everywhere you go? I usually put my Kindle in my purse, but I don't generally, because I work from home, and I don't. If I'm going out, I'm usually going thrift storing, going to the grocery store. I'm doing something, so I don't have much reading time. Although if Greg and I go out to eat, I always take my Kindle, because I love to go out and eat and sit at the bar and read while we're at the bar. So I usually pop my Kindle in my purse, which is another perk with a Kindle. And then prompt number 10 is, how often do you update your progress on GoodReads? So I do use GoodReads, and I only update my progress when I finish a book. I don't track how much I'm reading. I'm not concerned with where I am, or sharing percentages. I just use GoodReads for tracking when I finish a book and giving it a star rating so that I can remember what I thought of it. But that's it. Very, very bare bones GoodReads for me. So, what are you currently reading? Do you have more than one book going at a time? I'd love to hear about it. And yeah, I think that's it for me. Bye.